Wow. I mean, it is nuts out there. Absolutely. And really what's going on is FTX is a borderline failing and essentially that thing has collapsed. I mean, it's just remarkable. The collapse in that alone is spooking everyone.
Hey guys, welcome back to Library of Wealth. Today we have Gareth Soloway forecasting the crash with Bitcoin, as well as his take on the economy and where we're headed in the next few months. Soloway has seen that inflation is so high now that no one can stop it. He believes that Bitcoin is also headed for a massive dip and can see a coming scenario that is well below his previous prediction of 12 to 13,000. Soloway says there is no good endgame in the market, and in the long term, he does see many economies getting destroyed by what's happening. He believes that investors need to be made aware that there will be a massive reset where the dollar will collapse. Let's listen to this interview with Gareth Soloway as he gives his investment advice for Bitcoin during the collapse and predicts where the crypto and stock market is headed in the next few weeks. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy what we do here on this channel. Let's get right into the video.
We know Terra Luna collapsed. Here you have FTX. Now it is bouncing off the lows, got as low as about 275. It's back to over $5, but still down from 22 on the day. And that is an epic collapse, and it's spooking the whole crypto market. And again, this is just one more thing that the crypto market knows that regulation is coming. And the more things like this happen, the scarier the regulation potentially becomes for the overall market. So again, it's a monster drop, and yeah, I mean, look at Solana, Avalanche. I mean, there's just everything is just getting hammered. You know, investors just need to be cautious here. I still have a downside target of 12 to 13,000 on Bitcoin, maybe even lower than that. And this, unfortunately, this could be the start. I'm watching those trend lines we just watched to see where it closes. So let's take a look. So we'll look at the Bitcoin chart, and basically what we had was we had a potential breakout right here, right? So you had the market get above, let me put in some trend lines here. So this was a previous pivot and we kind of got above there, okay? And so we got above here, we retested, we then went up, and then the fact of the matter is we came right back in. You could almost look at it like right here. I mean, once this couldn't hold the breakout above this high, that was a bearish indicator. Now, again, did I know that we were going to have this type of collapse? No. I mean, again, this is an epic drop in crypto as a whole. But I do think that you could see the fact that you had a breakout here that confirmed and it wasn't able to hold and you basically went back below. That's never a good sign. You could argue that Bitcoin's holding on, right? Because even on the flush, you could see that we just retraced to this trend line. See this green line sloping down through this pivot and right through here. And we broke out above it and we retraced back to it and we're actually holding that line. So that's a small positive. If that continues to hold, I think that's good. If you actually were to get by the end of the closing day, which is I think 7 p.m. Eastern time here, if you get back to this trend line and close right on this trend line, that would be another short-term bullish signal. So it was a nasty flush, but there are some hopes. There's some hope here that Bitcoin can recover just a little bit.
Soloway is amazed that Bitcoin hasn't conveyed more strength in the market. This is because Bitcoin usually does the risk minimum at least 2 times when the stock market rallies. This hasn't happened because Bitcoin has floated up due to the fear of investors who have already lost money in crypto. Soloway believes that it's important to recognize that the current long-term pattern is very bearish. He sees that Bitcoin has the ability to go down significantly in the next 30 days.
But I think, again, there are opportunities in crypto, but you got to be really careful, you know, be very, very careful in this environment.
What's going on with the midterms?
Yeah, so the midterms are today. And by the way, I got to throw this one out there, and this is a crazy one. But basically 1 year ago today, the highest close on Bitcoin occurred, November 8th, 2021. 1 year later, this is where we are in the crypto markets, obviously having panic in here. In addition, last night we had a red blood moon, full moon, whatever it is. And I mean, just that alone, you have to wonder. I mean, there's weird impacts that the moon, the lunar cycle can give you. And sure enough, we're seeing some of the craziness today. So just some crazy stuff going on here. But you have to be careful of FTX because we know what happened to Terra Luna. I don't know the leverage that these companies have on their balance sheets because honestly, we don't have the transparency that a stock company has to report, right? So be careful. I still think there's opportunities in panic on other cryptocurrencies, but you have to be careful, trade small.
You don't think it's too fast, too soon?
I mean, if anything, you've made this long bear flag going back to June, and here we are in November. So, I mean, this is one of the longer bear flags that I've seen. It's very reminiscent. I mean, if we go back to 2000, let me show my chart here. If we go back to 2018, we had a very, very similar period in crypto where you basically went from here sideways for, let's see how long, from June as well. So June all the way until November. So June to November sideways, and then you broke down. Now that's kind of crazy, right? I didn't realize that it was going to align quite like that. But basically, this is almost mimicking what we saw. So, and then we saw the breakdown. So we got to just be careful. I don't necessarily know if it will, be exactly like it was back then, but we do want to be careful. Because basically when crypto was dumping, we saw a sympathy drop in the S&P, right? And basically what this was panic in the crypto markets that then was being kind of pervasive and spreading. It was a contagion event where the collapses in these cryptos then spread into stocks. Now, again, in the stock market, it didn't turn out to be a huge move like in crypto, but it does show you the connection of the crypto market to the stock market, because humans are both in crypto and in stocks. And so when you see your crypto collapse and you're seeing, oh my goodness, I'm down 30, 40, 50% here, you obviously are going to be a little nervous about holding your stocks in the meantime. So a lot of people sold. Now we've seen a bounce in crypto, and we're also seeing a bounce in the S&P 500. Now on the daily chart, what we can see is we're hovering in kind of a bearish pattern here, just underneath a lot of resistance. So this is kind of a little bit of a scary pattern going into the election results. I'm going to be honest with you, where I do think the markets are going to have another leg lower. I just don't know if we rally up into this resistance first on the election results, and then the CPI maybe takes us down.
What are your political views, as in what do you think the situation with the votes can do to Bitcoin and the markets? Would you see, for example, if Republican takes House and Senate, would you say that gives us a bigger chance for us to have seasonality till the end of the year in Bitcoin and stocks, because Bitcoin follows stocks?
There is a possibility, right? So I think that the Republicans are kind of the less likely to regulate harshly group. So I think that is definitely a possibility there. Although I do think that the SEC is the one that's mostly in control here. So we have to respect that. And that may mean that it doesn't matter who controls the houses of government in the US. Now, having said that, we have to also look and say, the seasonality side of things. I agree that oftentimes you'll see that Christmas rally, that Santa Claus rally, but we have to watch and see what goes on here with not Terra Luna, but FTX, right?
Soloway believes that Bitcoin is not at the bottom, but he compares Bitcoin's future as the blockchain equivalent of Amazon, which at one point fell 95%, which would bring Bitcoin back to $3,500. If Bitcoin gets written down, it's hard to tell if it's worthwhile to dump that position to buy lower. He doesn't recommend exiting the market because a bull run might immediately start, and the risk of investors missing out on profit is too high. Soloway advises investors to choose the path they're comfortable with, but recommends to be sure to dollar cost average gradually and to space out time between each buy. What do you guys think about Gareth Soloway's prediction for Bitcoin? Comment down below. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This is Library of Wealth. We'll see you in the next video.